Hi there, it's Vanessa from Cove, and you're listening to the 66th edition of The Networker. This week, we'll explore how to spot when someone in your network is taking advantage of you, what late Victorian women artists can teach us about influence, why friendships may matter more than traditional networking, and how Gen Z is reshaping the office as they show up with authenticity and tech fluency. We'll also look at why it might be the perfect time to polish your LinkedIn profile, how gaming communities mirror professional ones, why genuine relationships will always matter more than business cards, and a reminder on why reconnecting after a break keeps relationships alive. Finally, we'll close with our book of the week on the healing power of human connection and a podcast episode that explores how to stay inspired while working remote and why co-founders might have an edge. So let's dive in. We start with a practical skill, recognizing when someone in your network is crossing the line. Harvard Business Review outlines 4 warning signs. The first is the person who always has an ask. They reach out only when they want something, never to offer support. The second is insincere praise, compliments that quickly lead to requests. The third is one-sided collaborations where the other person benefits more than you do. And the fourth is name dropping, when someone attaches themselves to your reputation without your consent. These behaviors don't just drain energy, they erode trust. The advice is clear. Use generosity filters, set boundaries, and remember that protecting your time is not selfish. It's how you keep your network healthy. From modern warning signs to lessons from history, the conversation highlights how women artists in late Victorian London built their own networks to overcome systemic exclusion. Shut out of the Royal Academy and the most powerful galleries, they created women's clubs where members could learn, collaborate, and exhibit their work. The Society of Women Artists, the Pioneer Club, and others became hubs of mentorship, visibility, and professional identity. These weren't vanity groups. They were survival strategies in a system designed to sideline them. Their legacy reminds us that community building isn't new. It's a timeless response to exclusion, and their methods of authenticity, trust, and shared support remain deeply relevant today. Next, Fortune brings us a blunt take from Susie Welch at NYU. She argues that traditional networking is nonsense, that success doesn't come from handing out business cards but from friendships. Friendships, she says, are built over years of genuine exchange, favors without expectation, and the kind of truth-telling that surface connections rarely provide. Welch points to examples like Melinda French Gates and her lifelong Truth Council, or Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King's decades of mutual support. The point is simple. Business runs on friendship stacked on friendship. For young professionals chasing depth in shallow networking spaces, it's a reminder to shift time away from transactional moments and toward cultivating enduring bonds. Now to the office. CNBC shows how Gen Z is bringing new energy as they return to physical workplaces more than any other generation. They're blending work and personality, normalizing conversations about mental health, and embracing AI as an everyday tool. This shift is intentional. With senior colleagues often working hybrid or remote, Gen Z is filling the mentorship void with deliberate networking, both online and in person. They're casual in dress, authentic in conversations, and unafraid to blur the line between colleague and friend. Mental health check-ins, sneakers in meetings, and beanbags instead of boardroom chairs aren't signs of unseriousness. They're signals of a generation reshaping culture around trust, well-being, and efficiency. Speaking of modern presence, Forbes argues there's no better moment to refresh your LinkedIn profile. William Arruda offers a simple framework. Make your profile relevant, real, relatable, resonant, and remarkable. That means crafting a headline that works like a professional tagline, updating your headshot so it feels like a digital handshake, writing an about section that tells your story rather than repeating your resume, using visuals that communicate your brand, and curating a featured section that makes your win stand out. Beyond the profile, Arruda stresses cadence, showing up consistently with curated content, thoughtful engagement, and smart use of AI. The message is that visibility isn't about volume, it's about rhythm and resonance. Let's move into digital spaces. The conversation highlights how gaming communities mirror professional networks. Guilds, clans, and online squads function like teams with leaders, roles, and shared goals. These environments teach collaboration, adaptability, and problem solving, skills directly transferable to workplaces. What's striking is how digital communities evolve into trust based economies, where virtual exchanges mirror professional transactions. The takeaway for professionals is that engagement drives value, trust is the foundation, and innovation thrives when diverse voices meet. Lessons equally true in Discord servers and LinkedIn groups. Closer to the legal world, the Law Society shares Oliver Haddock's view that career progression isn't about business cards, but real relationships. Haddock describes creating networking spaces that go beyond transactional encounters, blending wellness, learning, and community. He notes that while law has unique pressures, long hours, high stakes, genuine support networks make careers sustainable. His own experience shows how intentional networking, building a professional profile, and stepping into innovation roles can reshape career paths. For junior lawyers and beyond, the advice is simple: start early, stay genuine, and diversify your network. Real relationships, not shallow exchanges, drive both resilience and opportunity. And finally, Cove reminds us of the power of reconnecting after breaks. Research shows that meaningful social contact supports health, resilience, and even longevity. After holidays or downtime, everyone feels the strain of reentry, which makes it a natural moment for intentional outreach. Simple gestures, a quick check in note, a shared article, a personal reminder ease the transition and spark collaboration. Cove's tools help structure that process, but the deeper point is universal. Reconnection doesn't need to be elaborate. Done thoughtfully, it strengthens trust, primes networks for responsiveness, and aligns relationships with the natural rhythms of work and life. Before we close, a quick recommendation from the bookshelf. This week's book is Together: The Healing Power of Human Connection in a Sometimes Lonely World. It shows how loneliness harms health and society, but also how presence, solitude, and acts of service restore bonds and meaning. It's a reminder that strong relationships are protective, resilient, and life extending. And for your commute, our podcast pick explores how to stay inspired while remote and whether co founders have an advantage. The episode emphasizes that creativity can thrive even through screens when teams spark energy intentionally, and that co founder trust makes adaptation easier. Wins celebrated together become fuel for the next challenge, and preparation ensures you're ready when opportunity and timing finally align. That's all from the 66th edition of The Networker. This week's stories remind us that while formats evolve, from art clubs to LinkedIn, from guilds to AI, the heart of success remains unchanged. Connection, trust, and genuine support are what transform chance encounters into lasting opportunity. And don't forget, there's more to explore in your inbox with the full email edition of The Networker waiting for you there. I'll see you next time.